Time for bed, young man. Come on. You've had 10 more minutes twice now. To bed. How can I get you to get ready for bed and get in bed? What if I make you a deal? You get ready for bed and get in bed. I read you some more Goosebumps. And I'm not just pulling your leg. I will. That's what I thought. Now, go get ready. Look at the book. I still don't understand how you enjoy this book. It's a horror book. And you're young and impressionable. Scary story, young and impressionable. I wonder what results that could give. Now, where were we? Alright, we were on chapter 3, I believe. Yep. Now, did you brush your teeth? Okay. Now, remember the rule. Do not interrupt, otherwise I put the book away, and I don't continue it until later when I feel you deserve it. Okay, good. Okay. As I started to fall into the bubbling green stew, the same hands grabbed my wrist and pulled me back. Emily, giggling, "Gotcha," she cried, holding on to me, keeping me from turning around and slugging her. "Hey, let go," I cried angrily. "You almost pushed me into the quicksand. That's not funny." She laughed some more, then let me go. "It isn't quicksand, dork," she muttered. "It's a bog." Huh? I turned to stare into the goopy green water. "It's a bog, a pest bog," she replied immediately. "Don't you know anything?" "What's a pest bog?" I asked, ignoring her insult. Emily, the know-it-all she was, bragging about how she knew everything, and I'm a stupid clot. But she gets B's in schools, and I get A's, so who's the smart one? "We learned about this last year when we studied the wetlands and rainforest," she replies smugly. "The pond is thick because it has pest moss growing in it. The moss grows and grows. It absorbs 25 times its own weight in water." "It's gross looking," I said. "Why don't you drink some and see how it tastes?" she urged. She tried to push me again, but I ducked and skirted away. "I'm not thirsty," I muttered, realizing it wasn't too clever, but it was best reply I could think of. "Let's get going," she said, wiping sweat off her forehead with her hand. "I'm really hot." "Yeah, okay," I reluctantly agreed. It was a pretty neat walk. We turned away from the pest bog and started back down the hill. "Hey, look," I cried, pointing to 2 black shadowy floating high above us under a white cloud. "Falcons?" Emily said, shielding her eyes with one hand as she gazed up. "I think they're falcons. It's hard to see. They sure are big." We watched them soar out of sight. Then we continued down the hill, making our way carefully on the damp, sandy ground. At the bottom of the hill, back under the deep shade of trees, we stopped to catch our breath. I was really sweating now. The back of my neck felt hot and itchy. I rubbed it with one hand, but it didn't seem to help. The breeze had stopped. The air felt heavy. Nothing moved. Loud, crawling sounds made me glance up. 2 enormous blackbirds peered down at us from a low branch of cypress tree. Crowed again, as if telling us to go away. "This way," Emily said with a sigh. I followed her, feeling prickly and itchy all over. "I wish we had a swimming pool back at our new house," I said. I jumped right in with my clothes on. We walked for several minutes. The trees grew thicker. The light grew dimmer. The path ended. We had to push our way through tall, leafy ferns. I don't think we've been here before," I stammered. I don't think this is the right way. We stared at each other, watching each other's face fill with fright. We both realized we were lost. Completely lost. I don't believe this, Emily shrieked. Her loud shouts make the two blackbirds flutter off their tree limb. They soared away, crowing again. What am I doing here? She cried. Emily is not good in emergencies. When she got a flat tire during one of her first driving lessons back home in Burlington, she jumped out of the car and ran away. So I didn't expect her to be calm and cool now. Since we were totally lost in the middle of a dark, hot swamp, I expected her to panic, and she did. I'm the calm one in the family. I take after Dad. Cool, scientific. Let's just figure out the distance of the sun, I said, ignoring the fluttering in my chest. What sun? Emily cried, throwing her hands up. It was really dark. The palm trees with their wide leaves formed a pretty solid roof above us. Well, we could check out some moss, I suggested. The fluttering in my chest was growing stronger. Isn't moss supposed to grow on the north side of trees? East side, I think, Emily muttered. Or is it the west? I'm pretty sure it's the north, I insisted, gazing around. Pretty sure. What good's pretty sure? Emily cried, snarling. Forget the moss, I said, rolling my eyes. I'm not even sure what moss looks like. We stared at each other for a long time. Didn't you used to carry a compass with you whenever you went? Emily asked, sounding a little shaky. Yeah, when I was 4, I replied. I can't believe we were so stupid, Emily wailed. We should have worn one of the radio transmitters, for the deer. Then Dad could track us down. I should have worn jeans, I muttered, noticing some tiny red bumps along my calf. Poison ivy? Some kind of rash. What should we do? Emily asked impatiently, wiping sweat off her forehead with her hand. Go back up the hill, I guess, I told her. There were no trees there. It was sunny. Once we see where the sun is, we can figure out the direction to get back. But which way is the hill? Emily demanded. I spun around. Was it behind us? To our right? A cold chill ran down my back as I realized I wasn't sure. I shrugged. We're really lost, I muttered with a sigh. Let's go this way, Emily said, starting to walk away. I just have a feeling this is the way. If we come to that bog, we'll know we're going right. And if we don't, I demanded. We'll come to something else, maybe, she replied. Brilliant. But I didn't see any good in arguing with her, so I followed. We walked in silence, the shrill ringing of the insect on all sides, the call of birds startling us from above. After a short while, we pushed our way through a chunk of tall, stiff reeds. Have we been here before? Emily asked. I couldn't remember. I pushed a reed away to step through and realized it had left something sticky on my hand. Yuck! Hey, look, Emily excitedly cried, made me glance up from the sticky green gunk that clung to my hand. The bog. It was right in front of us. The same bog we had stopped at before. Yay! Emily cried. I knew I was right. I just had a feeling. The sight of the gurgling green pond cheered us both up. Once past it, we began to run. We knew we were on the right path. Nearly home. Way to go, I cried, happily running past my sister. Way to go. I was feeling really good again. Then something reached up, grabbing my ankle, and pulled me down to the swampy ground. We made it to chapter 5. I'll wait till next time to read the next chapters. Sleep well.